All right, battlers, I am so incredibly excited for this video today. In this video, we are taking on PurpleKyogre. Guys, PurpleKyogre is my YouTube Pokemon Go PvP idol. If it wasn't for his videos, I would never have even thought about starting this in the first place. Show him some love. If you follow him on Twitter, go and comment and let him know how much you appreciate his work, or go on YouTube and just maybe watch a couple of his videos and give him some likes. Guys, he is worth the time. He is worth it. PurpleKyogre is amazing, and our battles are incredible as well. Battlers, I cannot wait to get into these fights. In round one, I decide to open with Donphan. He opens with Lanoon. Obviously, I need to watch out for that Grass Knot. I am going to commit a shield here to Donphan, but I have that energy charged up. So if you watch my Donphan feature, you have an idea of what I'm trying to do here. We are able to counter him down very low and then bring in our Lanoon to absorb this Grass Knot. Grass Knot's not a big deal. In comes that Bibarel, and I'm going to fire off the Grass Knot against it. This will be super effective if it lands and he does decide to shield. My objective here is to get to another Grass Knot, so I am going to shield my Lanoon here, trying to put as much pressure on Bibarel as I can. We actually get to that Thunder, though, so I'm trying to one-shot this Bibarel. If it lands, it will, and he does decide to shield. So it might have been a mistake on our point. I think we would have earned the shield either way, but luckily we brought overlapping coverage in our team in the form of Minoon. So Minoon is going to come in here, take that Surf, no problem, and then in comes Nidoqueen, and look at this, guys. Donphan is about to roll. You know exactly what's happening here. Earthquake is going to one-shot that Nidoqueen. In comes that Bibarel. We're actually able to get a few counters in before the Surf flies. He must have known I was close to a Heavy Slam is why he used his move. In comes Minoon, and I overfarm a little bit there because I know he's not quite at the Surf yet. I do fire off the Discharge. In comes that Lanoon, and guys, we pull off the clutch Discharge with Minoon to take down PurpleKyogre in Game 1. In Game 2, I will lead with Bibarel. He leads with Nidoqueen. So we have won this lead. He is going to swap out into his Bibarel. I'm going to bring in my Minoon here, which is the hard counter. I could have brought in my soft counter Lanoon, but I wanted to save that. Knowing that I might have to face that Nidoqueen later, I want to keep that Grass Knot asset in my back pocket. I do fire off the Discharge here against Bibarel. He does decide to shield, so he's investing in the Bibarel here. I know I can take a Surf, but probably not the Hyper Fang, so we do absorb that Surf. I get off another Discharge here, so I'm either going to take that shield or the Bibarel, and we actually take the Bibarel that time. Minoon is very weak. This is also part of my plan. There's not much left to farm down, so I do decide to bring in my Bibarel, and then in comes Lanoon versus Alola Ninetales. Guys, in Ferocious Cup, you're going to see these beasts really wrestle with each other, and it's going to be difficult to really remember a lot of these matchups because the typings are not so clear. So in here with Lanoon, I actually do get charmed down, but I do retain that shield, and I'm able to water gun down the Alola Ninetales. We're going to fire off the Surf here against the Nidoqueen, and it is going to get shielded, but we have a shield in the bank, so even if it's the Earthquake, we can shield it. He was building up to an Earthquake there, which is why he didn't fire off his move, and we're actually able to Surf him down to win Game 2. But as I was saying, a lot of these beasts are going to have interesting matchups. Little matchups like knowing that Lanoon can defeat Alola Ninetales in the right shield situations will help you a lot. In this game, he brings in his Lanoon. I make the mistake of not shielding there, but he makes a huge mistake by allowing the Hyper Fang through. Look at that. Lanoon is getting very weak. If it wasn't for the charge move here, we would have brought down the Lanoon and still won this matchup, which is just crazy to think about. So Lanoon just spent his energy. I'm going to bring in my Minoon and charge up one more Spark. In comes the Alola Ninetales here, and I'm going to go for the Discharge to put some shield pressure on it. I think I can go straight Discharge here if I need to. I do earn that first shield and then go for another Discharge here. Minoon is very bulky, but I am going to save that in the back. And look here, we have the Bibarel versus my Lanoon. I'm going to go here for the Grass Knot to draw the shield, and we get it. Guys, watch this. A lot of trainers are using Dig on their Lanoons because it gives them additional coverage against Sandslash and Piloswine. But look at this, guys. I overfarm knowing that I need extra charge energy for that Ninetales in the back, and I'm going to go for the Thunder. Grass Knot, I don't believe would have KO'd in that range. If it would have, let me know in the comments. But in comes that Alola Ninetales, and my plan is foiled. So he actually uses the charge move, brings down Lanoon, but in comes Minoon with another clutch, very clutch Discharge. I do think Minoon is worth it. It is the bulkiest electric type in the cup so far. Going to this round, we do lead Minoon into Alola Ninetales, so we just saw this matchup towards the end. I'm going to go here for the electric attack. I think this is Thunderbolt. Oh, and it is actually just Discharge. I thought about Thunderbolt there. And then I bring in the Bibarel, attempting to farm up as much of the Ninetales as I can. I know neither of these moves are going to KO, so I do take that. In comes Minoon, and I go straight for the Hyper Fang. If Bibarel is going to go down, it's going down with a fight. It does hit that Minoon pretty hard, and that Minoon is pretty weak. So I do have two options here. I wait down that switch timer to give myself some flexibility, and then I bring in Minoon because I know that these attacks won't be, they will actually be resisted. We're able to get to the Discharge here, and I know he's not going to sacrifice his shield on such a weak Minoon, and he does not. So it's 2 shields versus 2 shields. Essentially, it's all on Lanoon here. Guys, I will make you a deal. If Lanoon can pull this game out, if Lanoon can bring this back and win this match, I need you to hit that like button. This is really insane gameplay, just really flexing the power and the abilities of this Pokemon. It is so much fun to use in this cup. Again, guys, if Lanoon pulls this out, I need you to hit that like button. This is insane. So we fire off the Grass Knot, and we burn that second shield. We are going to burn our last shield, though, so this is coming right down to the wire. I know I need to get to that Thunder to bring down the Bibarel at this health range, and we get there, guys. We fire off this Thunder, taking down the Bibarel. In comes that Alolan Ninetales, and we Shadow Claw it down. For the next game against PK, I'm going to bring in my Lanoon versus his Minoon. So the Grass Knot is going to hit pretty hard. I know Minoon can't take 2 Grass Knots, so I'm going to fire off this first one, hoping that it will land and weaken this Minoon. I look for the swap there, but decide not to. I'm going to shield this Discharge here, just trying to keep my Lanoon topped off and healthy. Trying to time the sparks here, I do jump into my Minoon to absorb whatever electrical attack this is. It is a Thunderbolt, not very effective. In comes Nidoqueen, and I haven't played myself into a great spot so far, and seeing Nidoqueen is a bad omen for my team because I do have that Alolan Ninetales in the back, which is weak to it. So I'm going to try to put as much hurt on this Nidoqueen as I possibly can. I do fire off the second Thunderbolt. I don't know if the right move is to go straight Discharges or straight Thunderbolts. I'll probably check that out after I upload this video to be certain. Guys, I do fire off the Discharge there. In comes my Lanoon, and I am going to shield the Earth Power. I think about Shadow Clawing him down, but I know he's got a ton of energy, so I do fire off my Grass Knot. It does get shielded, and here comes the energy we just mentioned. Again, not very good for me. It is Earthquake, so down goes Lanoon. In comes Alolan Ninetales. I know that Minoon is very weak. We're actually able to charm it down, and if this is an Umbreon, we might have a chance, but it's Bibarel. So Bibarel is going to be impossible to bring down at this point, especially with the shield disadvantage. Even if I would have gone for straight charms there, I do think I would have lost because the Surf will do me in. PurpleKyogre takes that game. Going into this round, I will lead with Minoon, and he leads with his Minoon as well. Guys, the mirror match with Minoon is very, very tedious. He's actually going to go straight Thunderbolts. I overfarmed here. Think about going for the shield bait, but I decided to go straight for the Thunderbolt as well. We are getting up to our next move there. I expect this to be a Thunderbolt. These matches were interesting because I think we both realized that once we got rid of each other's Minoons, it gave the rest of our team more flexibility, so that was our objective. I'm going to blink and switch out of that matchup. I'm expecting the Thunderbolt here, so I do shield, and it is Thunderbolt. So we're actually able to Shadow Claw down that Minoon and gain a lot of energy. So out of shields, but not the worst situation. I actually am going to fire off a Grass Knot here against a Nidoqueen. It does go unshielded, and I've got a second one. So again, putting a ton of pressure on this Nidoqueen. We farmed up so much energy from that Minoon that it actually gave us the ability to do this. He's going to fire off an attack here, which is Earthquake. It will take down Lanoon. I think Earth Power would have done the trick there. He brings in his Bibarel, and I make a fast swap into my Minoon, and I've got that energy bank from earlier. We do force the shield, and now that he's switch locked, we have played ourselves into a better position. I'm going to fire off the Discharge here again, bringing down the Bibarel, and I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. The Nidoqueen is very weak. The Earthquake is the only thing that could bring me down, but the Water Guns do the trick. Going to this game, I will lead with Donphan into that Alolan Ninetales. Again, I'm looking for the Heavy Slam here, at least to put some shield pressure on the Ninetales. We do get to our Heavy Slam, and it is shielded, which is great. We earn that first shield. In comes Lanoon here. I'm going to charge up a lot of energy, and then again, whatever attack this is, I know I can take, but the Ice Beam would have hurt pretty badly, so I do shield that correctly at the last second. I do fire off my Grass Knot here and draw that second shield, and we're actually able to get to a second Grass Knot. So we're going to bring down this Alolan Ninetales, which is great for us. I still have a shield too, so not feeling too bad about this matchup. In comes Bibarel. and I don't have an electric counter. I don't have my Minoon this time, so I have to play this very carefully. I bring in my Donphan to try to farm some energy there. I think my mistake was leaving him in too long. I probably should not have done that little maneuver. I do shield the Hyper Fang correctly. In comes Minoon. I go straight for my Hyper Fang here, trying to do as much damage to it as I can. I know the discharge will end it for us. So he is going to fire, or Thunderbolt, excuse me. He's going to fire with the Thunderbolt, and I do almost counter down that Minoon, but I have to fire with the Heavy Slam. Guys, you know this game is pretty much a wrap. I don't have enough gas in the Donphan tank to bring it down, and PurpleKyogre wins. Going to the last round of the video, I do lead with that Minoon. He does the same. Again, we are locked in the Minoon mirror match. I do fire off my Thunderbolt here, wasting no time, going for no baits. He does not shield that, and then he's going to fire off a charge move of his own. Guys, I've heard some crazy stories about people powering up Minoon, spending a 200,000, 240,000 dust to power this thing up. My friend Matt actually had a level 1 perfect PvP IV Minoon that he powered all the way up and double moved. It is a super steep investment. It kind of reminds me of Sableye in regionals. A lot of players were spending a lot of dust on that one. I do fire at the discharge and win that mirror matchup. The Nidoking brings us down. I don't swap because I'm trying not to be too aggressive, and then in comes his Bibarel and out comes my Lanoon. He is actually able to get to the Surf before I'm able to get to the Grass Knot, so I do allow that Surf through, and then I go here for my Grass Knot, trying to work these shields out of him because I know Bibarel versus Nidoqueen is a win for me. So I do fire off another Grass Knot, trying to earn that second shield, and he does give it to me that time. So I do have 2 shields, and I'm going to go all in on my Bibarel. I actually save both of my shields for it. I'm going to overfarm as much as I can, burning these shields on Bibarel, and I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to try to get as close to 100 energy as I possibly can. I'm going to burn the second shield here, and I'm not sure if this is within KO range with Surf, but luckily he switches into that Nidoqueen, probably trying to catch the Hyper Fang, which is very clever, but I just waited just long enough to not make that bad decision. I do fire off another Surf here to bring down Nidoqueen. In comes Bibarel, and I know the Hyper Fang will seal the deal, and we get there. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please show PurpleKyogre some love. If you like this channel and somehow have not heard of him yet, I highly encourage you to go check him out. He is just awesome and so friendly and such a kind individual. He deserves a lot of praise. So if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more PurpleKyogre battles, let me know in those comments below. If you want to see me battle somebody else, let me know as well. I think I'm going to have Jokes311 on the channel soon as well. He's actually PurpleKyogre's primary sparring partner for all of Season 1, and they still battle a lot to this day. So cannot wait for that. Guys, drop a like, drop a comment, and if you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. I will see you in the next one.